Good afternoon on what is a surprisingly warm, bright and sunny day. It is Thursday the 15th of February and I'm in the reading up with a nice hot cup of tea. And a thick package to unbox which arrived this morning. So let's find out what is in here. Actually, what I'm pulling out is another package. So and this comes open nice and easily, almost. This is an OSR role-playing game from Nerd Sirens called Beyond Corny Groń. And I bet I pronounced that wrong, for which I can only apologise. What I've got in here, so I'll open this up. I've got some extra cards, so I'm going to show. These are inside the, just inside here. So these fantastic cards. We've got a bear, and on the back we've got some cave encounters, and then mountains. You've got a quick guide to 226 places in the mountains. I don't know what that is, but more mountain encounters, and kind of a cave, and 2 different places in caves. Let's see if there's any more of these. No, there's none. There's none in the back and on the inside the back cover. But this is a really nice book. Just looking at the outside, cloth bound, really stands out. So those tables on these cards are replicated here and here. But let's have a look at the rest of the book. Nicely signed there, just a little bit, you know, essentially this is Beyond Corny Groń Adventurer's Guide, and it's come off Kickstarter, I'm sure. I don't remember backing it. You know, you kind of, they get lost. We've got the contents page, and then we've got Welcome to Karpaki, and essentially we've got a description of the location. With this really, I said, woodcut style artwork, which is terrific. I really like this. And we've got a guide, basic guide to how to use this guide. A sketch setting, essentially Corny Groń is a mountain situated on the border of lands inhabited by humans, where elves will dwell, so focus on legends and fairy tales. But you can have elves, gnomes, and others. Then we move on to character generation. Essentially, what you hear, you're rolling for your first off your appearance and your outfit. Reasons why, what brings you here, and who you are. So you're basically rolling up sort of like your basic character, you know, so explaining who you are, what you're doing there, providing motivations, and so on, adding in virtues and flaws, Karpakian rumours and legends, weapons, equipment, and treasures in Karpakia. So, okay, including black powder firearms. So this really feels sort of like, you know, as sort of like a Eastern European medieval setting, or very late, early modern setting, and you are exploring the Karpaki Mountains. We've got this whole section upon mountain exploration. And here they're suggesting what you're kind of doing here with this is linking them. Really, it's sort of almost like point crawl. So we've got the map discovery procedure, places in the mountains, site connections with factions, not fanzines, to weather, mountain encounters, I've got a couple of bookmarks there, and so quite extensive tables of encounters, and their actions and motivations, animals and beasts, encounter examples. So you don't just have to roll on tables. You can turn to ready to play encounters. And then we have a section on cavern exploration. So guide to that, followed by tables for the shape of the cave, places in the cave, specific cave encounters. Again, looking at the actions and motivations, followed by actual examples of encounters. And then having an exploration basically the mountains and the caves, now we move on to factions in Karpaki. So Styro-Pannonian Empire, the commonality. And I think the thing is, this is drawing upon essentially drawing upon and being inspired by European, Eastern European history. What essentially sort of like, which, to be fair, is not really familiar to a wider audience, and that's very probably why I was interested in it. Yoko Yeniek's Outlaws. I actually really do like the look of this book. The woodcut artwork is terrific. Then we move on to tables. You get more tables. So, mountain peaks, events at the summit, special encounters, mountain passes, village settlements and hamlets. Places of power. We've got some examples down here as well. Ruins, objects, outlaw bandits or bands, mushrooms. So yeah, very much within the old school Renaissance style. And we'll move on to treasures. I search for this and what do I find? Tables for that. Not quite, oh yeah, body common finding. So we don't actually have, what loot you find on the body table, but we do have a body common finding tables, valuable finding. So a little bit of a word switch there, terminology, all the way up to precious findings. And then caches is going to do the same thing for common findings and valuable findings. Precious findings. And then we've got a bestiary. So you can tell, sometimes you can tell quite a lot about setting about from its bestiary. Here we open up the section on people, stats, and so on, outfits, names, and then we have typical character examples, starting off with highwayman, deserter, partisan, and other criminals, mounted raiders, soldiers, merchants, hunters, miners, lumberjacks, scholars, a witch, the medicine man, pilgrims, mystics, cultists. So, I mean, so for example, you've got one set of stats for pilgrim, mystic, cultist, and heretic. They don't need to be different. That's a nice touch. And then we move on to BSC, good neighbours, hidden folk, cousins, them, inhabitants of Karpaki from the other side. So we do have something strange going on here, with another group of beings, alien. I'm not saying aliens, but alien kind of species, alien to the people of the Karpaki Mountains. I mean, not aliens from outer space, but we're talking about fae and spirits, and so for example, we have the classic Rusalka. And Vodnik, and some of these creatures, do have filtered out into the old school Renaissance, have filtered out into essentially Dungeons and Dragons and similar role-playing games. The Undine, Salamander, Stoveling, Knocker, and these all again will all be familiar into one extent or another. Mossfolk, Ifrit, Married or Jinn, Strangers of the Volcana, and some of these like that will be unfamiliar. And then we move on to the small folk, the minor BSC. Again, apologies if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. So the quiet folk, really that bone cruncher, and of course gnome, kobold, and you've got the Yarashek. Not all of these are illustrated, which is disappointing, but nevertheless, Elfin, Corrigan. As I say, I mean, this is some of the first pieces of art to deviate away from the woodcut art style. This is woodcut art style, but it doesn't look like it. We have the Puck. So some of these come from sort of like a wider tradition of the Fae, but they all going to fit the Karpaki Mountain setting. So you've got lots of different creatures of the other, beings of the other. Barguest, Black Hound, actually Goblin, even tables for Goblin appearances, Goblin spells and oddities, Hobgoblins. So you've got kind of like almost a sense of having traditional kind of Dungeons and Dragons style creatures in there as well. The Red Cap. Then we move on to goddesses and godlings of true BFC. Again, apologies for pronunciation. And we've got tables for creating these, and particular beings like Changeling, Leshy, Plant Folk, and that will be familiar from playing Pathfinder. I mean, this is a lovely looking book, and there are lots of things and beings and creatures of the Fae which are just unfamiliar. And I think that that's going to be one of the joys of digging into this, of reading this, discovering more. And then, of course, when you come to play it, it just means that sort of like also these elements will also be unfamiliar to your players. So another bookmark, and of course you've got Baba Yaga. So let's flip forward. You've got quite an extensive bestiary of creatures. You've got undead, cursed BSC, so drowners. It doesn't even take into account the Rusalka, white Mamuna, Strix. Ghoul as basically a variant of the Jinn. Then move on to actually get examples of animals. All of this is really quite an extensive bestiary. This is just okay. Yeah, this section there. That's what, 100. Let's have a look. 150 to 274. That's 120 pages of essentially monsters. Move on to just animal examples. And beast examples. Pegasus woven. Yeah, griffin. A lot that will be familiar. I'm going to flip on for see if there's anything. And there's the dragon. Oh, and we've got even more monstrosities. This doesn't seem to end. You've got a huge bestiary of creatures in here. You know, and it says monstrosities, and that's sort of like in addition to the creatures we've already seen. So here we have ghost, lycanthrope, vampire, chimera, homunculus, really extensive, troglodyte, walking dead, golem, gorgon, terror of the deep. Wow, I'm just really impressed by this. Giants, common giant. So different types of giants, ogres, Nephilim, trolls. Oh, that's a really fantastic piece of artwork there. And then the appendix. We've got the appendix. Chieftain rule set. This is so it's Beyond Corny Groń. Adventurer's Guide is meant to be a system neutral and fit to any game systems you like. So this is a systems neutral rulebook, but essentially it does have its own Chieftain's rule set at the back. So it's a standalone setting or game. With a lot of the tables, when you're creating your adventure, you're creating the colour of your adventure. So you've got a simple rule set, list of spells, and this section of Carpathian flora, Carpathian use. You've got a basic Carpathian dialect pronunciation. Probably could have done with looking at that before I started leafing through the book, but that kind of defeats the purpose of an unboxing. So you've got a guide to how to pronounce various different words with approximation for those who are uncultured as I am in Carpathian pronunciation. And there we go. That is Beyond Corny Groń, Adventurer's Guide. published by Nerd Sirens. I think that's a lovely book. Artwork is terrific. Very interested to see how people react to this. But yeah, basically bringing adventure to the Carpathian Mountains. So, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a package containing a book or game which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.